So welcome everybody to this webinar with Rino and Jean-Paul. My name is Sandra and I will be your host tonight. I have been a customer with Better Globe since 2013, and what I like most about Better Globe is that and what made me choose to buy trees is the fact that the business model is combined with investment and charity, and it was such a strong win-win for everybody. I went to Kenya in 2017 to see the plantations and visit the microbank and see all of it for myself. And so sorry about that. Well, that trip made me love Better Globe even more. And I was so fascinated about how the climate and the environment changed when planting trees and how the trees created this ripple effect of good things. It was really like very high and low of the ripple effects that Better Globe created. And one of the workers in Kiambiara, he told me that once the trees came, he had seen more wild animals in the area. And it was also quite amazing to see how the soil changed from this warm, dry red sand to soil that the grass could grow in. And then, of course, it was very amazing how the people in the area had been able to change their life situation with the help of Better Globe. And it was everything from being able to send their children to school to the school that was able to build a fence around the school to protect the children from the animals. And I met a woman who had gotten a loan with the microcredit bank, and she had been able to make changes in her home with solar cells, for example, and could make a living by making furniture and selling. All of this because of the microcredit bank that was financed from Better Globe. And these things that I mentioned and many more things was and are still able because all of you guys that choose to buy donation packages and trees. And since I've been investing every year since 2013, I got my first return in 2017, and I really look forward to get my return again in 2 weeks. And of course, there are many things, of course, to love about Better Globe. And that is actually one of the things that I love about Better Globe is that I know today exactly how much I will get in 20 years. And it's not very common. And all of you that are in this meeting tonight know this, of course, and we're all very eager to hear what has happened during this crazy year with COVID-19 and everything. So I will hand over to Jean-Paul, but before I do that, I just want to say that if you have any questions that you haven't sent in, it's still possible to write it in the comments, either to me or to everybody. And we will try to make time to answer as many as possible. So we'll hand over to Jean-Paul to begin with.
Okay, thank you, Sandra. I would say hello to everybody. It's a pleasure to be invited in this webinar. It's always nice also to see faces that we have got the pleasure to welcome in Kenya, John, and many of you. Of course, it's a pity that this year there was no trip. Actually, we were always ready for receiving our Scandinavian visitors. Hopefully, it will happen next year. I will go to the point. I have been asked to give a small introduction about what happened so far in 2020. And of course, I know that everybody is eager to know how we handled the COVID-19 situation and how it affects our work. As a start, let me say, COVID-19, we here in Africa, we are used to to handle the unexpected, because we have to handle climate change, we have to handle rain, which either is too much or not enough. COVID has not really affected the tree planting. It has not affected the plants. Of course, there are side effects. One of the side effects of COVID being that we could not train people as much as we wanted, because there was a ban of having people together, big gatherings, and it was not allowed. So that we will have to take care of more specifically next year. Else, we had about 2.9 million trees standing at the end of 2019. Our aim was to have 3.5 million trees standing at the end of 2020. And right now we are on track for that aim, but we are still in the rain season, so we are still planting. And so, but it looks like it will be okay. We had actually decided before COVID to scale down on the big numbers of trees that we plant and to concentrate more on the quality of the trees, because it is very important that in 20 years after the trees have matured, we have good quality trees also. So that was already something that we had decided before, and that we will continue next year, because if we really want to be capable to handle the big amount of trees that we are getting and to do a quality work, we really have to look into that. Now, what has happened in 2020, except of the COVID, of course, except of the planting? Today, we have about 13,000 farmers in Uganda, and we have 6,500 farmers that we contracted in Kenya. I insist I say contracted, because in Uganda the 13,000 farmers have been served with trees. In Kenya, the contracting is higher than the number, meaning that in Kenya we have delivered trees to 3,500 farmers, which is considerable. It's a completely other terrain. Of course, the situation in Kenya and Uganda is different. Uganda has more rain, things are a little bit easier, and that is what makes the huge difference. What else can I say? Yes. The question that is frequently asked is, how many staff are you now? How do you handle this? Well, we have today 150 permanent staff. Of course, we have huge amounts of temporary staff on a daily basis, but we have 152 permanent staff. Well, I will not give you the breakdown, but it is also so that one of the evolutions that is characterizing our operation is that we are going more and more the electronic way, meaning that we have now two people, we have an IT department, and many of the reports and the back and forward between sites is now handled electronically, either with telephone applications or with other apps. Many of them that we create ourselves. So that is a very good evolution, because what matters is not the number of people, but the quality of the people and the work they can perform. And definitely that is one of the tools that is going to help them. Microcredit, we have our banks that are still going strong. About 6,500 farmers have been helped through microcredits. That is a very nice amount. That is really making a difference. The figures, the final figures, I am being asked regularly, when are you giving figures? We as a policy, we give all the figures after the audit at the end of the year, because before it changes all the time. There is a movement and it is very difficult to pinpoint an exact figure. The only exact figure that is scientific is the one of at the end of the year. What are the running projects and what are the future projects for 2021? Running projects, of course, we are working on certification with FSC, which is a standard, an international standard, which is really necessary for the time that we are going to export. We really need them. We also have the project with the collaboration with the Ghent University, the University of Nairobi and Kefri. They are working on an extract from mukau, that is insect repellent. So actually it will allow us to provide a cheap insect repeller come fertilizer to the farmers, which again will make a huge difference. One project that we had to postpone, but it will happen in 2021, is we have, together with the University of Ghent again, we have an expert in soil improvement, because there are many factors that are related to tree planting, and one definitely is the soil. And we are going to work on a program of soil improvement so that when we raise seedlings in the nursery, we have the whole mix. It's a bit technical, but that's it. We are also going to start an embryo of production, because production in Africa is not that easy, in the sense that there are many permits and rules and regulations that one has to know. So we are going to set up a small production of a very simple product for export in Belgium, and that will allow us to learn everything about the whole chain from production to delivery. Another very important project we are working on, again with the university, is the possibility to count, monitor our trees via satellite, meaning that as we grow, it becomes increasingly difficult to have teams on the ground to give us up-to-date information about the trees. It is not new technology. It is done in South Africa. It is done in other countries. The only problem is that it has never been done with mukau, and so that some programs have to be written and things like that. But it is absolutely possible, and that is what we are working at as well. So for next year, we have this project. We have also taken into consideration that the fact with COVID, we will have to train more people. We will have to do a lot of things. This is the time that we have to sit down and see what are our systems, how they work, to be critical with ourselves, so that by the second half of next year, we can really work full blast and plant massively both in Kenya and Uganda. We are also prospecting in Tanzania. That is the third country that of the East African tree that we are going to, well, we are prospecting it, but definitely we are going to plant trees there, both again with farmers and probably with a project of our own, as we do here, because before we can approach farmers, it is necessary that we know a bit more ourselves. I don't know if I have covered everything. Sandra, maybe you can put me on track if I have forgotten something, but I think that is the short, would I say, the summary of what we did and what we plan to do.
Yeah, thank you very much, Jean-Paul. Just to clarify, you said here you're based in Kenya, is that right? Yes, yes. So when you say here, you're you mean in Kenya?
I'm in Kenya.
Yes, awesome. So I have some questions about the Moringa. I don't know if you are the person to answer, or maybe Rino.
I think in this venture of Moringa, remember, in Africa we are the implementers, but the person who is really on top of this is Rino. I think he will be the right person to answer.
Then we wait with those questions. I think. Well, I have a question that might be hard to answer, but I will ask it anyway. It's how big is the Sami Desert? Because like me that went to Kenya and I've seen it, I know it's very, very huge, but I don't really have the numbers. And for someone that hasn't been on site, it might be hard to understand.
Well, 80% of Kenya is arid and semi-arid. It's very simple. So 4/5 of the country is actually it's not desert, but half desert. And mind you, if you come in the rain season, you will not notice because everything is green. There is grass and etc. But if you come in January, February, up to March, and then the months December, September, August, July. This is very hot, and you will see it's really, really tough. 100 years ago, this was forest, but today it is arid and semi-arid.
Yeah, but for someone that has never been to Kenya, it could be hard to imagine how everything is for the farmers that live in the area. Another question is, do you think the negative consequences of social well-being in countries will distract the interest to do good in Africa? Do you understand the question?
Not really, no.
Like, like if we're too busy about ourselves here in the West, I think. It's not me that asked the question, so I'm not really.
You think that people are going to get tired to support countries in Africa or something?
Yeah, something like that. If I understand the question correct.
I don't think so.
No.
I don't believe. You know, you have to make a difference between political context and individuals that have a heart. I believe that it's a good feeling also to help, and people will continue to want to have that good feeling, providing, of course, that the things are done correctly. What is true is that people are fed up to be taken for a ride. They are fed up of would I say, putting money in very vague projects that are very short term in sight, and that actually don't leave a trace after 3-4 years or when the project starts. I think we are in exactly the right business. We have a long-term vision, very, very long-term. We do everything to be sustainable. And the future of helping people is definitely through the private sector. And that was something that was very, very hard to explain to people when we started. And we had many conversations and we were the devil, but things have really changed. And the collaboration with the private sector is really being promoted, even at government level.
And that is also what I loved so much about Better Globe. It's that it's long term and you know so far ahead with Better Globe.
From the government, we have a memorandum of understanding with the Kenya Forestry Research Institute, with the Kenya Forest Service. These are parastatals, that is the government. And we have really good working relationship with them. We help each other and the doors are really open. So we are okay.
Yeah. So speaking of the mission, does the government in Kenya and Uganda support Better Globe's mission and respect its words even in times of crisis, or for example now when governments are really struggling?
Yeah, but you know, support can come in many ways. Financially, no, they don't support us, but they don't support anybody. I mean, that is not the thing. But like I just explained, having the possibility to work together with them, to use their resources and to exchange information, that is a form of support, and that we have. They respect us. In Kenya, we are really a respected company, that I can say.
Yeah. Well, thank you very much, Jean-Paul. I think I will hand over to Rino now and let him give us some updates from Norway.
Okay, I mute myself.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Sandra, and hello to everybody. It's nice to see all the people I've seen before and a lot of names that I haven't seen before. So welcome to you all to this short introduction to Better Globe. Jean-Paul have told most of what going on in Kenya, Uganda, and the tree planting. So now it's my turn to talk about what we are doing on this side of the globe. Obviously, we have good connections in every way, like you said, in Uganda, Kenya, with the government and everything. So everything is smooth. And I'm not much involved at all, except from getting reports, being on board meetings and things like that. Jean-Paul is the one in charge and doing all the things. So everything is in good hand, as he have been concluded with. When it comes to Norway and Better Globe and you guys who are customers, that is, of course, something we are doing here. And now I have to say that I'm not much longer in connection with you guys either, because Camilla Eikeland, who is on board here now, who is my daughter, she took over the company 3 years ago, and she's actually doing a better job than I ever did when it comes to the administration and things like that. So that is in good hands too. So for me, I'm just doing my last sort of input for the next, let's say, 5 to 10 years. I will definitely be on board until we have put up the first factory for producing furniture and parquet in Kenya, Uganda, whatever. We're going to do it. So because that is still entrepreneurial. But after that, we will have people running all the companies in the group to a much better way than I have ever done. So we are in good shape in every way we can think of. Today we are educating ourselves into getting to know different kind of things. You talked about Moringa, so let me start with that, because that is the one that unfortunately or fortunately I was stuck in Uganda. I stuck in Norway after leaving Uganda 10th of January. It's the first time in my life that I've been away from my wife for 9 months. That is, and now it's going to 10 months. So, but she's coming here to visit me in the Christmas time. So I'm very happy and looking forward to that. But in the time that I was stuck here, not being able to go to Uganda or Kenya, at least we are in good shape when it comes to the new companies. We started last year, actually I think it was in November, December last year, we started a company called Max Health, in a Norwegian company. And that's the company that's going to sell the Moringa. Of course, we're going to sell it through Better Globe also, but that's the company behind it. They're the one who developed all the different things, how to put it into all the packaging and everything. So that's the company that's going to take on the Moringa sales worldwide. That is not Better Globe. Better Globe is just one of the partners that we're going to be working with. But Max Health is the one. So we have done a lot of research on Moringa. So that is why Jean-Paul also said that it's better that Rino talks about the Moringa, because I am the one who has been looking into the Moringa projects and all kind of things. And Jean-Paul is, like he says correctly, he is the implementer. So when we are ready and to go ahead, he's the one who's going to do the job, find out how to do things and make it happen. So, but so far, I know that we have started with Moringa trees in Nyongoro. Isn't that so, Jean-Paul? Yes. So that's okay. I can see your face saying yes. So we have started there. We have not yet started except trying out some small things in Uganda. And before we can start with producing together with the farmers Moringa, we have a lot of work to do. So that is not going to happen this year. It will start next year. But we have to do a lot of logistics, because it's not just to pick the leaves and dry them up. They have to be dried within so and so much time, and it has to be done in a particular way. We need to put up not factories, but at least inside drying machines, so they can dry them, the leaves, within 24 hours. We cannot sun dry them, because then a lot of vitamins and things like that is missing. So we know all the process today, and we are working on getting to know it, and we'll test it out. So by the end of next year, we will be in full process doing something with the Moringa, and we will know what to do and how to do it. But so far, we have a partner company in Uganda that we've been working with. So we have Moringa done the way we want it exactly, and it is certified organic Moringa, which we are getting here, and which we hope to be able to sell out, start to selling before Christmas. We are not guaranteeing it, but it's on the way to us from Mombasa right now, as we speak. So that is the good news. And we have, of course, a lot of work that we have been doing all the time. I can tell you that the Moringa is, well, you can get Moringa from all over the world. However, and you can get them cheap and expensive and all kind in betweens. The difference is probably the way it has been made and where it comes from. Now, we don't sell a regular Moringa. Just to make a note of that so you can understand. And we're going to talk to people about that and let them understand what's all about. Our Moringa is called, and don't ever forget that, it's not Moringa, just Moringa, it's Equator Moringa. That is our brand name, and you will never hear us talking about Moringa. We will always talk about Equator Moringa when we get it up and running. So that is our trademark. And the reason being, and I can tell you, we have the same thing, kind of stuff in Norway here. Why I came to think about this is because in Norway, we have the midnight sun. I don't know if you, all of you know what the midnight sun is, but midnight sun in summertime, it's sun 24 hours. It never sets. Just about to set, then it comes back up again and lights up the sky. And that has proven to give more minerals and vitamins into the plants than if it hasn't been like that. So we have investigated and concluded that at the equator, 1,200 meters above sea level, and exactly at the equator, as you know, Uganda is exactly at the equator, so is Kenya, the sun is up, almost straight up, most of the day. And it gives maximum nutrition to the plant. So that is why we have baptized Moringa. have a slogan saying, Equator Moringa is best, so skip the rest. That's a very easy way to say it. And, you know, obviously we're going to prove it and show things. However, what we have done so far, because Moringa is known all over the world for 3,000 years as the #1 medical plant in the world. That's nothing that I say. You can just, if you put up, for example, right, Moringa health benefit into Google, you get probably 20 million hits. And there's everything you would like to know about Moringa is there. So it's a fantastic tree. And what we have done this year is that because of the lack of knowledge of Moringa, even everywhere around the world, you know, when you look upon it, what we have done is we have written a book called Moringa, and then it's only written in Norwegian, but it will be downloadable very soon, well, by the end of the year at least, as an ebook, so you can download it and read it in English also. So we are working on translating it right now. So that is what we are doing to educate not only you, but people also about Moringa. And let me tell you, I know all about today, after 1 year really looking into how, what, when, and why people are taking supplements. Most of the time, if I look up on Norway here, and I've talked to a lot of super gurus in the Norwegian supplements market this year, we had a lot of meetings, and we have joined forces with one of the most well-known and mostly used gurus in the business. He knows everything about everything when it comes to supplement. You name, if you just say QT or Q10, he will tell you right away what it is, what it comes from, how it works, and all kind of other things. And he can do that with anything. So he's on our side. And we have been having, personally, I've had meetings with a lot of these, in Norwegian at least, super gurus. I don't know how gurus they are in the rest of the world, but at least I know a lot about the market here. And we have concluded that none of them have any knowledge, really knowledge about Moringa. That all of them have heard of it, all of them have seen it, but very few are doing something with it. The reason being that Moringa is doing something everywhere in your body. You know, just, of course, I'm using general terms now, not to go into any details, but it helps your body completely. It has 46 antioxidants. It has 36 inflammation problems. It has vitamins and minerals and everything you need to have in the Moringa. It also has something like, it's a plant actually, stuff, plant hormone, I think it's called. And that one is 1,000 times stronger in Moringa than in any of the plant they know about. And we are working on that to try to enhance. That is why Moringa is also called the trees that never dies. And it is called the trees that cures 300 diseases. So, you know, it has a lot of names, and whatever it is, at least it is a good product. We have plenty of documentation on all the things that has to do with Moringa. And when you read the book, you will understand that you cannot live, you know, without the Moringa in the years to come. Because you see, the way people are buying supplements today in Norway, they look at TV and some superstar, movie star or celebrity say, oh, you know, I have some problems with my joints and I came across this product. Now I'm safe and happy and healthy and everything. And then you will go and start buying that one. And somebody says, well, I had the heart problems and you know, I've got this product now. I'm very good. Everything is perfect. That is the way they sell it today. They buy in some celebrities and they will tell you how good that product is and you believe it and you buy it. And then you try it for a month and you see, oh, well, it doesn't help anything for me, so I just skip it. Then you try next one. That's the way it is done. I think not only in Norway, I think that's the way it's done most all over the world, if I'm not mistaken. So what we are saying in the book and what we will tell you and what we believe in ourselves is that if you want to live healthy for the rest of your life, just tell yourself, I'm going to buy Moringa today, and I'm going to buy it every month for as long as I live. I'm not going to try it out for 1 month or 2 months, and if it doesn't work, I'll skip it. No, because inside it works over time. And to use an analogy that you will probably understand easily, that is I don't know if any one of you have ever built a house, that you live in, but if you have, you know that the most important thing when you build a house is the foundation. If the foundation is strong, you can build any kind of house on top of that foundation, it will stay there forever. So we call Moringa a foundation. It's like drinking water. It's like eating bread. It's like eating dinner and whatever. Moringa should always be there. And you can rest assured that if you do your test at the doctors once a year or whatever you do, you will see the results on the test. That's where you're going to see it. It's not something that works for your joints right away. In 2 weeks you are cured. That's not Moringa. Moringa is going to be there forever. And that's what we're going to try to tell people so they understand it. And they will get proof as they go along, because it is not something that cures any disease right away. That is not possible, but it goes slowly building into your body and gives you all the necessary stuff that your body needs. That is what I have been informed. That's what I have been reading. That is why we have tested, and so forth and so on. So I believe strongly in that, and I am eating Moringa every day now. So that's the way. However, you see, I think that I know why Moringa has not really taken off in the, I should say, the Western world. Because somebody had, I assume this, so I might not be right, but that is my assumption, so you can take it for whatever it is. But when I have checked it in Norway here, and also many other places, most of the Moringas, I would say probably 80% of the Moringa is sold in as a powder. You buy a 1/4 kilo of a powder. And I can tell you, I got some powders from Uganda. And I took it back to Norway and said, oh, that's fantastic. Now I'm going to put it in. I'm going to drink tea with Moringa. I'm going to have it in my soups. I'm going to have it everywhere, splash it in there and be happy. I was so wrong, because when I tried to put it in hot water, it was clogging around. It could not dissolve in the water. So I said, what the heck is this? I cannot drink this. I have to lick it from the cup, after I've been drinking the water, which is, of course, completely crazy. So I said, well, that doesn't work. Even if I didn't work with Moringa, I would have stopped it. Right there and then, I would have stopped it. I have been to visiting probably 20 companies or shops with selling supplements today. I'm giving you these introductions first before we start talking about what we are doing. I went to see them and I said, well, do you have Moringa? I said, well, let me see. And they were looking around and they found a small tin, a very small tin, 100 grams. And that was overcharging for that one. I think it was 150 kroner or something like that for 100 grams. And I said, is that all you have? Yeah, no, that's what they had. And they didn't know anything about it. And they couldn't sell it to me. If I didn't know anything, I would never bought it in any shop. Nobody knew anything. So then I said, well, I bought it one just to have it, but I didn't go buy anything more because I didn't want to. But all of them had the same thing. That was the only thing they had. So I asked them when I left that, do you have Equator Moringa? So I said, no, we don't have Equator. I said, but you should get that because that's the best Moringa. So I was laughing while I was going out. They didn't know anything about it, However, the whole thing is that knowledge is lacking. Like I said, the powder as such is hopeless. I was using it also in my yogurt, but you have a beautiful strawberry yogurt, which is pink, nice color, and it tastes strawberries, which I like very much. I put the big spoon of Moringa in that one, and instantly when I fixed it, it became green and ugly, and it didn't taste strawberry anymore. So I say, what the heck is this? It spoils my yogurt. So that was a dead end. I couldn't do that. So I tried all these things. I have cauliflower soup is my specialty. I like to make cauliflower soup, and of course I had to put some moringa in my cauliflower soup. And you know, when you eat green cauliflower soup that tastes not cauliflower, you will stop it right away. So you get my point. It was a dead end. So I think that is the way I see it, the reason that it hasn't been successful.
But
So that is
Rino,
why I stopped it there and then.
sorry to interrupt you, Rino, but since you're already in this, talking about this stuff, I just want to ask some questions.
Okay.
If that's okay.
Yeah, that's okay.
So, because you say that there is a powder.
Yes.
And instead you will use the capsules.
Yes.
And since the transport of the powder it seems like it's very difficult and long, isn't it bad for the freshness of the powder, or how come? Do you understand the question? Like,
yeah, no, I understand the question very well. Yeah, I can understand. It's natural to ask that question. However, I have been assured, first and foremost, after we have dried it, the way we drying it, it can go. It is as good as new for 3 years plus. It could be more, but at least minimum 3 years. And the packaging we get is double plastic package. You know, really good packages, and then in boxes. So you know the packaging is no problem. The only problem we had is that this first load of 2 tons, it was actually made ready in February, March. I think in March, and we were hoping to send it in March, but because of the COVID, it was stranded in Uganda. So it's only on the way to us now, but it is packaged perfectly well. But I can tell you one thing, it might also help for the same question. As soon as we get it here, the first thing we do is sending a box of it or a can of it to the laboratory to test out everything, you know, so we have a totally complete control on what it is. So that's the first thing we do.
That sounds very reassuring. And since we're also still talking about Moringa, I can only imagine that there's a very good reason why the capsules will be produced in Norway.
Yeah, well, you know, we have in a sort of a main goal to produce everything we can produce in Africa. That is the main goal. But I have already checked up that there's nobody in Uganda that could produce it to our standard today. But that might be that we will do that later. So you know that our aim is to own the whole process from the planting of the trees to the products coming out to the customers. But in the meantime, we have started now, and we are going to have a very good company that's been doing this for years in our own hometown in Moss, where I live. So it's easy for us to do the development with them, get to know all the details and parts and things like that. And worst comes to worst, if we should say worst at all, we might then, when we really are getting things, let's say a few years ahead, when you have bigger amounts and bigger loads, we might put up our own company, buy our own machine. So we do it here, because 70% of Max Health is owned by Better Globe anyway. So Better Globe will get the profit, and it goes back to the customers regardless.
Yeah. Thank you. I have one final question about Moringa before we move on, and it's someone that is asking where she can get hold of the book about Moringa. Well,
they can. We will publish it soon. Probably in a week or two, we will send out an email about that, or rather, it is not the. We can send out email anytime, but we have to make it so you can buy it online on Better Globe. So any Better Globe customer can buy it online, and we will be shipping it to you. That's a Norwegian one. And the English one will only be, at least this year, maybe not even next year, it will only be digitally. That is in PDF document as an ebook. But that will be downloadable from next year, from January definitely. So you can read all about it.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you. I think that was all of the questions for the Moringa. I have some other questions.
Yeah, well, you can just as well take them, then, so I don't have to go into it, and I might answer anything in the question. So just go ahead.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you. So one question is if the Mukau timber from Better Globe if it will be certified with FSC and or PEFC?
No, like Jean-Paul just said, it will be certified by FSC.
Yeah.
We are working on that right now. We
Awesome.
can, and just to answer the question, we cannot sell to the European market without it. We have to be certified, because if mahogany is banned, you know, in the market unless it's certified.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I didn't know. Okay, awesome. So I also have some questions about payments.
Okay.
And there are some people that are wondering if there will be a possibility to pay with other things than with credit cards in the future.
Yes, I can say yes to that.
Yeah.
I cannot say how, what, and when, but we are working and have been working for more than a year to have our own bank system with a mobile phone, with a wallet, so that all of you will have your own wallet, your own IBAN account, and then you can buy anything from there. So that will be possible. So, but I cannot tell you exactly when, but we've been working on it for a year and we still have some time ahead. So.
Okay, nice. Then I also have a question about what the plans are for the situation in Europe, if there might be a hyperinflationary scenario within the next 10 years.
Well, let me tell you, Sandra, we never work on assumptions. We never work on hypothetical questions. Hypothetically, in 10 years from now, Norway will be, you know, underwater if you talk to the climate people. So you know, we don't work on that. We are very sure that you will have no problem with that regardless. Let's make a simple thing. If the euro goes straight down to the bottom level, according to any other currency, we will pay you in dollars or in China money or in cryptocurrency, whatever is best for you. That is what we're going to do, because we have a commodity which we sell on the market for anything we'd like to sell it to. We might take it in Bitcoins, or you know, I'm not saying we're going to do that, but we might do that. We might take it in dollars or China money, whatever is best for you. We will think about what would benefit you the most. So don't worry about that. But hypothetical questions about the things we cannot answer.
Okay, awesome, awesome. So in 5 years, the first investors will be triggered, and
in 6 years.
6 years.
26.
Oh, sorry. So what is the price of wood that you expect in the market, and what are your calculations regarding the price of wood?
Well, that's an interesting question. I think I've had that about 2,000 times before. Well, let me make it clear. I understand that some people here who comes up with the questions. Let me just tell you one thing first. I understand, and we will answer all the questions right now. That's not a problem. However, when you get new customers, or if you are new customers, please look into Better Globe website, FAQ. 99% of your question has been asked before, and we are answering it there. So there's no reason for you to ask that question. You will have the answer anytime you like by looking into the website. So please start there. But now back to the questions. Anything that has to do with the price of wood, you know, don't you worry about that. Let that be my problem or Jean-Paul's problem, because you see, we are not looking into the price of wood. The price of wood is just an estimate of what the market is worth, nothing more. We are not going to sell as much as one piece of timber to anybody. We are going to produce in 2026. We're going to pay you your money back, but we are not going to cut the tree. we're going to leave that tree, and hopefully, at least that is what we have planned to do. Hopefully, the first 5 years we planted trees in Kiambere alone. These trees will not be cut on the 2026. We will not cut anything before 2030. That's where we're going to have the factories ready, and that's where we're going to have enough trees to start the factory. So that is not an issue. We are going to produce furniture, and we're going to produce parquet to floors. So you know, the price of wood is just an estimation. But you can just, for the ones who doesn't know and maybe have asked this question, when we started and when we put the price on what we're going to pay you back in 20 years, at that time, the price of one tree, which is 1/3 of a cubic meter, that was 160 euro. And we, at that time, we pledged to pay you 130 euro. Now it has been 150 euro and 170 euro, which it is today in the 20th year. So, but the price of one tree today, if you look at ITTO, it is 1,000, the last time I saw it in this summer, it was 1,028 euro per cubic meter. Divided in three, that is 340 euro. And that tree or the timber, we're going to put it into furniture. Then you can take that price times 5, you know, or something like that, or double, whatever it is, minimum. So you can imagine, we are going to pay you back 170 euro for a tree that when we put it into a furniture would be worth much more. And all that money that we export the products, we will take it back to Kenya or Uganda, whatever, and plant more trees. So you see, and put up factories. We will have money to put up factories ourselves without maybe even borrowing or having investors. At least that's the plan. I cannot guarantee, as it is today, that we don't need to take in investors for the factories. That might happen that we have to, but that is not your problem. That is my problem. I will see to that we either finance it ourselves, or we will have investors to finance the factories, and we will buy the trees from Better Globe Forestry at a much higher price than the Better Globe Forestry is paying you guys for the trees. So I think that should cover the answer.
Thank you very much, Rino. I think we have one question in the that came on the chat. That is, how are the trees growing so far, and are there any indications that it's going to be possible to cut them before 20 years?
Well, let me say right away that Jean-Paul could answer that also question, but the trees are growing very well. But regardless, we are never going to cut it before 20 years, because our aim, nobody has ever grown mukau trees for 20 years, except some farmers here and there. Nobody has done that as a plantation or in the scale that we do. So we are the pioneers. We need to have the answers to everything. And that means what we are going to do is, like I told you, we are not going to cut them in 2026 to pay you back. We will pay you back and leave the tree as our tree for another 5 years. You get me? So we are not going to cut anything before 20 years. We're going to leave them until 25 years to see if they put on more weight, you know, or size the next 5 years. We will leave it. But if they don't, and they stay the same, you know, from the 21st to the 22nd, then we cut it. Then it's no replant it. But that's the way we have to learn, you see.
Thank you. I also have a question about the biodiversity and how Better Globe will do the harvesting. I don't know if this is a question for Jean-Paul, maybe.
Yeah, he can answer that one.
Biodiversity. I don't know exactly what is meant, but one thing is for sure. Where we have our plantations, and especially in Nyongoro, one thing is part of our operation. We leave the patches of indigenous forest. The valuable trees, we don't cut them, so we go around. That is a first thing. If you mean the way we reproduce the trees, that is another thing. We are going to definitely have an in vitro multiplication facility. It's long overdue. It's not our fault. It looks like that it's always just there to happen, but okay. Anyway, we will have it because we cannot continue to produce seedlings manually at a very big scale. Now, these techniques, of course, that is not genetical manipulation, that is just multiplication. No? And multiplication is something even then that you have to be very careful, but these techniques are known. Everything starts with the provenance. So together with GEFRI, by the way, that it is a government institution, we are on top of the plus trees, the valuable trees, the best trees, the ones that are the straightest, the highest, the biggest, etc. So that is the input in the in vitro facilitation that is managed. You never ever will clone one tree in thousands and thousands and thousands times, because if you have one tree that is sensible to one disease or one pest or whatever, you lose all your trees. So you will never do that. So always you will mix the provenances and monitor what is going on so that you can not get in that scenario. A second thing is, it is good practice, even when we will have the in vitro multiplication, there will still be the traditional way of doing, where we will work with the farmers. We did a very big efforts, and we are still doing that, of grouping the farmers, putting them together in groups. They even get a certificate from Better Globe Forestry. We help them to register the group legally. It is a whole administration, and it is a whole setup. And some of these groups are identified to produce seedlings for Better Globe Forestry, because we cannot continue to send a truck from one central point 150 kilometers further over bad roads and having losses. So we need to work together with the farmers. It is also one way they own the project. They are part of the project. They are not only just receiving seedlings and plant them. And no, they are part of it, and they can make money out of it. So it is a diverse way of doing the production of seedlings, Sandra.
Thank you very much, Jean-Paul. I know it's 9 o'clock now, but is it okay to do one more question?
Let's go ahead. I have all the time in the world.
Thank you. Thank you. So you're so generous. So you say that in the beginning, you will send Moringa capsules to the Scandinavian countries.
Yes.
Will it be possible to get some Moringa capsules if you live outside of Scandinavia?
Yeah, everything is possible. We can send it, but and I think that the mail is the same. The postage is the same in all European countries. That's what I have understood. However, it might be that they have different restrictions. For example, the VAT is in Norway 25%. So when we sell it to, let's say, Sweden, we will deduct the VAT. So they will buy it without the VAT in Sweden. So that will be the same in all countries. They'll buy without, outside Norway, it's without VAT. However, when they get it, it might end up in the post office or in the customs, place. So you have to pay VAT. In Sweden, that is only 12%. I think something like that. So that is cheaper than the 25 we have in Norway. In Germany, it might be different. In Denmark, it's 25%. It is no custom duty on these products because they are less than 30 euro. So I don't think it's a problem, but we just said to start with, we'll send to Scandinavia, just until we know. In a week or two, we might know other things, so we can send it to any other countries.
Thank you very much, Rino. I think we have gotten answers for most of our questions, I think. And I just want to say to everybody, I saw that there was some people that had troubles coming in and some people that came in late. We have recorded this webinar, so if you send an email to me, we will make sure that you can get the recordings in one way or the other. So since it's 9:04 now, we should keep to the time that we said. And I want to thank you very, very much, Jean-Paul and Rino, for helping us answer these questions and giving us some updates on what has been happening in Kenya and Uganda and with Better Globe.
Thank you very much. Anyway, I believe that, Rino, sorry, I give you the last word. Make certain to come and visit us next year, because many of the questions are much easier to understand when you're in the field, when you're surrounded and when you can point at what we are talking about. It is very important that you continue to come and visit us.
And also, I just want to say that don't forget that no question is stupid or something. You know, I can tell you before we started Better Globe, I was the one asking 1,000 questions. The first one was, what if it burns down? You know, all the rest of them. I have been asking these questions myself, and we have been finding out the answers as we go. Because when we started, we didn't get all the answers, but now today we have all the answers. So I don't think you can ask us a question today that we cannot positively respond to. So, but please, like I told you, before you ask a question, look into what is on the website, because I think that many of the questions are already answered there. So, but we are happy to answer questions along the way ahead also. So please don't worry about it. Just ask us if you get an answer.
Thank you very, very much for all of this. Yeah, like I said, send me an email if you want the recording. And thank you very much to Jean-Paul and Rino.
Thank you too, and have a nice evening, the rest of you.
And also everybody that came tonight to listen to us. I look
forward to meet you one day, either in Kenya or someplace else.
Absolutely.
Have a nice day.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.